America is one of the greatest countries in the world. One of the reasons for this is our Constitution, which houses the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. The second of these is the right of the people to keep and bear arms. It also says that this right shall not be infringed. There was much debate over this right between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, until in 1791 they came to a final draft of the Constitution.
The Second Amendment to the Constitution provides a well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed. This amendment has confused generations of Americans as they've sought to figure out what exactly was meant by this rather cryptic amendment that is beset with all of these commas.
There are two main schools of thought when interpreting the Second Amendment. One of these ways is the individual rights theory, meaning that it is the right of each individual person to be able to possess a firearm and the government cannot restrict the use of them. The other school of thought is the collective rights theory, meaning that citizens and individuals do not have the right to bear arms freely and that legislative bodies have the authority to regulate firearms to whatever degree they please.
What is your personal viewpoint of the Second Amendment?
Well, I think it's important to note that it is our Second Amendment. Our founding fathers put it second in the Constitution, right after freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press. So it's incredibly important.
There are too many guns on the street, too many people with criminal records on the street, and there is a shortage of values about what is right, what is wrong.
Only outlaws will have guns, but a more moderate way of phrasing the same basic idea is if you tell everybody they can't have guns, the people likeliest to obey the law that says you can't have guns are the law-abiding. I mean, it's true by definition. It's not really a controversial point. So what that implies is you will proportionally reduce the share of non-criminals who have guns, whose only involvement in crime would be as victims, than it would be the proportional drop in gun ownership among criminals. It's just because the compliance with the law will be higher among non-criminals than criminals.
I think just we have a culture of not listening to the other side and considering what they have to say, really considering it.
It's divisive because we have two schools of thought. We have the collectivists and then we have the individualists. We have those who believe that the government should take over and control all arms, and they're the only ones that can have an army, when in fact our founding fathers wanted us to make sure that we protected our own freedoms. We were responsible for our own individual freedom and to hold the government accountable to the Constitution of the United States.
Middle ground is very difficult to find in the gun debate. While some believe arming and training more people would solve the problem, others believe the only true solution is taking away all guns.
Well, I think it's important that we recognize this is a constitutional right so that individuals can protect themselves and their loved ones.
A popular restriction offered up is keeping guns out of the hands of dangerous people and those with criminal records and mental health records. This is a restriction that everyone can agree on.
And these restrictions, these legislative actions have done nothing but increase the violence, increase the murders. There has been no reduction at all in any of these places as far as crime goes, violent crimes in particular. No gun law, no restrictions, no legislation is going to legislate away the fallen nature of man and the propensity to perpetrate evil.
In a study done through June 15, 2016, we see that abortion is the leading cause of death in the United States. We see, further down the list, underneath prescription drug overdose, murder by gun, killing 5,276 people.
If you do away with the emotions on that, look at the facts, you'll see that there are no laws out there that have been effective. As far as ineffective, all of them have been ineffective.
Depending on where you are, you could either view a gun as a lethal weapon used just for murder or as a tool used to protect the ones you love.
Well, our founding fathers gave us the Second Amendment so that we can preserve our liberty. as individuals. Law enforcement can't be everywhere. We can't pass a law in Washington that'll make everybody safe. But the individual's right, if they choose to bear arms, creates a safer society.
So whether it's the right of free speech, the right to keep and bear arms, each right probably should come with certain reasonable restrictions.
Go.
Okay, hang on. Dead bird.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
He's the dog version of Jacob.
Sweet, okay. Yeah.